has since been exactly 44 years since the Soweto Uprising, which was a series of demonstrations and protests that were led by black school children in South Africa that began on the morning of 16 June 1976. It is, of course, estimated that 20,000 students took part in the protest, and they were met with fierce police brutality. Blood was shed, lives were lost, with hopes dashed, and yet the future shined brighter than the darkness of that morning. We've just embarked on the Youth Month of June, which is specifically dedicated to the young people, the heroes and heroines of our history who toiled and asked for no rest. They labored and asked for no reward. They fought and did not heed of any wounds. Yes, they gave their lives and did not count the cost. Of course, this is the exclusive with iPad from Swahili as we continue to bring you the prominent figures of the public who are making history and continue to change lives. Just to kickstart our Youth Month, of course, well, today I am blessed, so fit to introduce to you the one and only very young and influential man by the name of Bongani Putsoane, who is an author, motivational speaker, and a businessman, as we look at the subject of taking initiative for our future. Mr. Putsoane, a warm welcome to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. What a privilege, what an honor to be here on the show. I'm really excited, and thank you so much.
Well, I could tell by the face that I look, it says it all, you know, man. Well, it is interesting. Here we are. We are in this time. It is the Youth Month in South Africa specifically.
Yes.
We're commemorating the past of our young people. We are here. We're looking back at what happened in history. What did those young people do? I mean, to you, the Youth Month on its own, what does it mean to you?
To me, it means a lot because when we look at back what happened back in the days where young people fought for freedom, fought for us so that we can have education in our schools, in our own languages. And I really salute those guys who did the tremendous work, sacrificing their lives so that we can have the freedom that we have today. That's why we're celebrating Youth Month in June 16. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. But then I want us to look at this just on the subject I just introduced you to say taking initiative
Yes.
of our own future. If you look at some of the definitions with the word initiative on its own, some people they say it has to do with the self-management.
Yes.
Which is what I would like us to take a little bit of a look at that. You're a young man.
Mm.
Like I introduced you as a motivational speaker and an author, which of course, if people look at people of your age, they will ask you, how did it happen at such a young age that you got a book and so forth. But firstly, just before we embark further, who is Bongani Putsoane? If you could just highlight to us a little bit on that.
Bongani Putsoane is a young man who's from Pietermaritzburg. I was brought up there, and I'm 24 years old. I'm an author, and yeah, by the grace of God, I've done so many things. I've traveled all over South Africa, ministering, motivating young people, sharing the gospel, and inspiring a lot of young people. And yeah, that is Bongani in a nutshell. And yeah, I've done a lot of mistakes in my life. I've messed up a lot, but by the grace of God, I'm standing today and as a role model, as somebody that young people can look up to and learn to. So I'm really excited to share my story today.
Now, let's talk about when we come to taking initiative. I want us to just dwell a little bit on looking at self-management. When we talk about managing yourself, as to say, how do you conduct yourself, how do you behave, and so forth. What do you think, rather, let me say, what pushed you to be where you are? How did you make it to be where you are right at a very young age? As you've mentioned that you have messed up in life, but then you still managed to rise up. There's a book also, we're going to go into it later. But then just tell us a little bit, what's your take on that?
Yeah, for me personally, like I said, I grew up in a community where there was drugs, where there was prostitution, there was a lot of bad stuff. So when I decided to give my heart to the Lord, when I decided to change, I was surrounded by the right people. So I think the first point that I'll mention is mentorship.
Yeah.
In order for you to conquer, in order for you to make a difference, in order for you to go to the next level, it's the people around you. That's why the Bible says bad company corrupts
good character.
Yeah, so bad company corrupts good character. That is why for me personally, in order to be where I am today, I was surrounded by good people, people that inspired me, that pushed me to the level that I'm at right now. So that's why it's very important to be mentored and be able to have people around you who you're going to share the mistakes, and they'll be able to push you to the right direction.
Now, let's talk about somebody who would say, like you mentioning that it was the people around you who managed to help you. And there's a proverb or a saying, I must say, that says that it takes a community to raise a child. But now here I am, I'm looking at you, you're saying that it was a community. What can you say to somebody who is currently being surrounded not by the right company, but people who are, of course, maybe let's say drugs and stuff all around them, their environment is not good. What do we say to such a person?
I would say to that person, you really need to, like I always say this quote, I said, you are born looking like your mommy and daddy, but you will die looking like your decisions. So you cannot blame the people that you're around. You need to take initiative for your life. I came up with a teaching that I called Become Your Own CEO. So A stands for you're going to be announced.
Yeah.
So God announced you to come to the world. He announced your arrival. You cannot creep into the world. God knew. That's what the Bible says. God, the Bible talks about that. God knew you in your mother's womb. So you've been announced. B is you are born. You are born to make a difference. You are not a mistake. So too many of us, we surround ourselves with people who say that we are a mistake. So I'm coming to tell you today that you are not a mistake. C stands for that you are going to be crushed. Crushing is a preparation for your character. So when you go to the season of crushing, it's preparing you to be the person that you are. Yeah. That's why when you look at Bongani, I went through the season of crushing. And then D, you're going to go through a season where you're going to get destroyed. As the Bible talks about that the enemy comes to steal, kill, and to destroy. But that season when you go through a time of being destroyed, it's a preparation for E. E stands for elevation. You cannot move to the next level without going through difficult seasons in your life. F stands for frustration. You will get frustrated. Until you get frustrated by your situation, you will rise up. When your situation frustrates you, you'll want to get up. Like even with me too, I was tired of finding myself in one position. So I was frustrated. G stands for you have to grind. You have to work. You have to work hard. You cannot just wait for stuff to come to you, but you have to go out there and knock on doors. And then H stands for that you're going to go through a season of hell. But when you're going through a season of hell, you'll come out smelling like heaven. So, and then you have to be intentional in terms of building yourself. You have to be intentional in reading, in research. You cannot change the world if you are not intentional in building yourself. As I close, J stands for juggle. You will face challenges. You will face obstacles, but you have to juggle around. You have to find ways to go out. K stands for you need to kneel down and seek uNkulunkulu. As for me personally, as uBongani, I don't do nothing without seeking the Lord. That's why Matthew 6:33 says, seek first the kingdom of God and everything shall be added unto you. So, okay. Yes.
I'm just getting there, but then on that note, I want us to take a very quick short break, but then we'll be back right after this as we're still looking at the subject of taking initiative for our future. And we are on the studio with Bongani Putsoane, the author here. We'll see you just right after the break.
The coronavirus outbreak.
Experience the extraordinary.
Tremendous waste and tremendous fraud. Mexico is, in fact, you will soon find out.
It is a day to celebrate.
We don't approve at all what's going on.
Well, I don't know if it's necessarily unusual.
Challenge your ordinary.
Not only the government, the municipality here has had no plan.
Experience the extraordinary with Starsat. Challenge your ordinary. Experience the extraordinary.
Not only the government, the municipality here has had no plan.
Now, I believe that my peace is my most valuable asset.
Absolutely beautiful!
This is exactly what I was looking for!
Camping! DJ Khaled!
It is a day to celebrate.
We're ready for action.
I like it when it's nice and soft. Yeah, that is nice.
How was it like growing up in Nigeria? Yes, sir, you know what it is.
Feeling is there that, you're doing something special.
Stop being so dramatic, Mira.
You should just be what you want to be.
Experience the extraordinary with Starsat.
Welcome back. You're still with us here on Galaxy TV. This is the exclusive with the Petrol. Well, once again, as we said, we're looking at the subject of taking the initiative for our future. It is the Youth Month, but once again, also in one of the definitions that came through when we're talking about the word on itself, initiative. Somebody here, Mr. Putsoane, said to me also that when we talk of initiative, we're actually talking about being able to do the right thing without having anybody to tell you to do the right thing. Yes. That was also part of the defining the word initiative. Now from you are here, you are surrounded by right people, which was fortunate for you. Yes. There were some people who grew up without such environments. Now in that situation, what do we say to somebody who wants to go somewhere in life and then they are stuck at the point whereby they don't know what to do yet? Initiative speaks of doing the right thing without anybody telling you what to do. When it comes to you, how did you do that?
When it comes to me personally, like I said, I was surrounded by the right people. And also maybe if you're finding yourself in a situation where there's nobody that you can say I can look up to, I think we have social media. We have so many people that are in social media that we can look up to. It might not be people that are close to you, but might be someone that's of influence. So same thing with me. There are guys that I look up to who are influential. That kept me going. Yeah. So I think you have to take initiative as a person which you want to grow. You have to be aggressive in terms of your growth. You have to be selfish, So that is why you have to take initiative in terms of yourself. Don't wait for somebody to push you, but you need to surround yourself with the right people, and then you'll be able to prosper.
But also, I think it goes back to the point of a self-development there. Very important. To say that the information out there is available. It's available. There are books out there. There's, your social media platforms that you just mentioned. Instagram. You can Google, PDF, and so forth.
Yes.
Now, let's take it on this instance to say that when you're doing the right thing without anybody telling you, there isn't a challenge, if I can put it that way, whereby when you have to select the right people that you need to take advice from, and also maybe to take the, some sort of advice they give you and the guidelines they give you. How do you select such people? How did you do it? And how will you encourage the next person out there to do that?
these are the very important things I'm going to share. I'm going to share two things. It's identity and vision. So once you know your vision, once you know where you are going, you're going to choose the good surrounding in front of you, because once you know which way are GP, once you know where do you want to go in the next 10 years, in the next 20 years, you're going to choose your right friends, people that are going to shape you, that are going to cultivate you, that are going to inspire you towards your destination. If you surround yourself with people that are not going to help you to move to the next destination, you'll be stagnant. So that's why it's very important to know who you are and whose you are, and you need to know what do I want to achieve in this life. And also looking at your background, where you are brought up, why do you want to be a different person? Why do you want to achieve all these things? Basically, what pushed me was my background. I don't come from a wealthy home. I don't come from a place where it was easy. It was difficult. So I had to tell myself, as Bongani, in order for me to come out of this situation, I have to surround myself with people who are going to push me towards what is great.
All right, well, that is how it's coming through for us here, to say that it is important to also know the people you hang around with. You need to firstly have a clear vision as to what you want to become, what you want to do, and also not forgetting to look back in the history, just a little bit glimpse of to say, this is what has happened, and you can use it this way to try and build yourself. But then for now, we're just going to take a very quick short break. We're so sorry for the audio there that has not been good for us, but then our technical team, they are currently working on that. We're just going to take a very quick short break, but we'll be back just right after this.
The coronavirus outbreak.
Experience the extraordinary.
Tremendous waste and tremendous fraud. Mexico is, in fact, you will soon find out.
It is a day to celebrate.
We don't approve at all what's going on.
Well, I don't know if it's necessarily unusual.
Challenge your ordinary.
Not only the government, the municipality has had no plan.
Experience the extraordinary with StarSat. Challenge your ordinary. Experience the extraordinary.
Not only the government, the municipality has had no plan.
Now, I believe that my peace is my most valuable asset.
Absolutely beautiful!
This is exactly what I was looking for!
DJ Khaled!
It is a day to celebrate.
We're ready for action.
I like it when it's nice and soft. Yeah, that is nice.
How was it like growing up in Nigeria? Yes, sir, you know what it is.
Feeling is there that, you're doing something special.
Stop being so dramatic, Mira.
You should just be what you want to be.
Experience the extraordinary with StarSat. Experience the extraordinary.
Let the adventure begin! The race is still on!
I think I found it!
This is exactly what I was looking for!
That's what I said.
From rural to urban, we bring you local and international sport.
From Cape to Cairo, from Nairobi to Kinshasa. As we stand out amongst the rest. And we are here to inspire you.
From the Horn of Africa to the Equator's indigenous people.
Galaxy Universal Network.
Abapenyi bezindaba nezintatheli ezingesabilutho.
Bila woga, upendeleo, hatuogopi chochote.
Channel 500 on StarSat. This is Galaxy Universal Network.
A very warm welcome back once again. You're still with us here on Galaxy TV. We are on the exclusive. We're talking the subject of taking the initiative for our future. It is the Youth Month, the June. We're commemorating the past. We have people, the young people, who rised up in 1976. They fought, they wanted a black child to be free, and they did it. Well, I'm not alone, as I said. I'm with the Bongani Putsoane with me here. Once again, sir, I want to give you more definitions. There's another definition, once again. When you speak of initiative again, that they say it is a thief of procrastination. Along those lines, procrastination is a very dangerous enemy to the people out there, especially the young people. What's your take?
Definitely, procrastination is something that I had to learn in an early age to break that cycle. Because Ubongane, like I said, I used to sniff petrol, I used to sniff glue, I used to sniff benzene, I used to steal, I used to do all these wrong things. And you know, even there when people tell you, Shinja, you know, you procrastinate, you know, I want to change now. It's not the right time. I'm still enjoying my life. I'm still going to explore, you know, not knowing those things are going to affect you in the long run. You know, it might not affect you now, but in the long run, it might affect you. Maybe also procrastinating in your studies, you know, stuff like that. I procrastinated a lot in my studies, in my job opportunities, at work. And so when I changed, I told myself, I'm going to break this cycle. I'm not going to procrastinate. I'm going to take initiative. I'm going to rise and shine.
But I think when you say, I'm going to break this circle, that is not, for some people it may not be enough to just say that I'm going to break this circle. The biggest question is, what are the formulas that maybe for you, you tried, you applied, and they were effective? What are other formulas that another person out there could maybe give a try to say, if I want to break this circle, if I do 1, 2, and 3, there's a high possibility that I will be able to avoid this and that, then I'll be out of that cycle of procrastinating?
I think accountability. Accountability is the most important thing, because when you're accountable to somebody, you are able to, the person knows your vision, they know where you want to go. That is why even me too, with the guys that are around me, they know that Bongani wants to be here in the next 10 years. If I'm lacking, if I'm relaxing, the guys are there to push me. That is why right now I'm sitting there, I'm on my 4th book. Why? I'm surrounded by people who are pushing me, saying, Bongani, there's no time to waste. You have to break the cycle. So, but if you're not surrounded by people who are going to push you, you're going to be comforted, you'll be relaxed. No, I'm going to see. No, but when you're around people who are pushing you, there's no time to relax. That's how you break.
So it is you, in other words, you're saying that it is very important that the environmental surroundings, they play a huge role in who you become, and also when it comes to making sure that you make use of the time.
Yes.
Because there's one of the writers that I came across, not a writer, but let me just say an anonymous, who once said that where ignorance is bliss, it is fully to be wise. You know. Now, they also said this, that when you make use, the problem rather to say we sit down and don't do things the way you want to do is because we think we have time when you don't have time. And then procrastination does not just rather knock on your door, it just happens. Now, to someone out there who would say, for the past 5 years, I wanted to do 1, 2, and 3, but I couldn't do it, and it's too late for me. What do you say to them?
I would say to a person, you can say in 2021, I'm going to change. But if you're not going to rise up, you're still going to be in the same position as the previous year. So you need to rise up. You need to rise up wherever you are right now. Like I said, I mentioned, the people around you, they play a very important role in pulling you up. You know, so kubalulekile ukuthi uhlale nabantu abangeke bakupushe, but uhlale nabantu abazokupusha uye phezulu. That is why the Bible does say that tomorrow is promised to no man. So you have to take the opportunity now. Don't wait for tomorrow. You don't know what tomorrow has. Focus on what the problems now. Solve what you need to solve now. Tomorrow has its own problem. So as a person right now, I'm going to say to you, start that business now. Start that degree now. Start whatever that you want to start now. Don't wait for next year. Next year we'll have other problems. So
my mom is a drug addict. My dad is an alcoholic.
Sure.
My brothers and my siblings rather, they are into prostitution. And I am this one person with a clear vision of what I want to do. But the circumstances surrounding me are pushing me down. The people whom I believe they should be picking me up are the very same people who are pushing me down. What do I do in that situation?
Sure, it's a very difficult one. It's a very, very difficult one. But for me also, I'll use myself an example. I come from the same environment like that. I had to come out of my community. I had to come out of my comfort zone. I had to make, like we spoke earlier on, I had to do my research. I said, I cannot be in this situation. Not those guys also, doesn't mean that the guys who are drinking or doing those wrong things, that they don't have a vision. It's just that life has knocked them down, you know? So they feel hopeless, they feel there's no future. So you as a person who know your vision, I think you need to rise up, push yourself out of your community until you can make it wherever you go. So ngoba ngiyazi kunzima.
It is very tough, but also being tough, not only this time, but I always say this, that if you look at the history that we have in South Africa with the young people, I believe that it was even tougher during their times because they had to endure some serious hardships. Not that we don't have hardships also in our time in the present age, but also look at how they laid their own lives for the sake of others to enjoy freedom. Now, that is quite remarkable. But then also, I want us to look at something here, which is very key. Because I think that for everybody who is developing in life, growing up, achieving things, the society needs to benefit from what you become.
Yeah, definitely.
Playing a role in your society is very significant. What are you doing and what do you think should be done by the young people in the present age to ensure that they not develop only their homes but also developing the society around you?
I think it's very important that you need to give back to your community. It's very important that even when you make it out there in life, you need to go back and take other young people. I always say this, that as Bongani, I climb up the ladder and I make it to the top. When I make it to the top, I'm going to take the same ladder and give it to the other guys so that they can climb up. So I think we need to do like seminars, we need to do like conferences, we need to do like communities outreach where we can train and empower more other guys so that they can be where we are. So it's good to go give back.
It's easier said than done. That has been proven in history. If you're saying giving back to the community, what other ideas that you have in mind which you think you stand or you're approaching, you could let me say you could just kind of work them to ensure that the community gets to experience what you're saying now? Because most people make promises. The public is watching.
Yes. Like I mentioned is that accountability is very important. Like you see Ubongani today, I'm seated here. I'm actually going back to my school. I'm going back to my community. I'm going to be celebrating 25 years in September. I want to do something for my community. I don't wait for somebody to push me. It comes from my heart because I know it's kunzima. So that is why I'm saying a lot of people, they want to put up stuff on social media, say I'm going to do this. Instead of not putting it up, do it. Walk the talk. So I'm a person who don't talk, I do it. My actions follow, you know. Yeah. So I think we need to rise up.
Just before we go to a very short break here, I want to look at this. You said you're on your 4th book now.
Yes, sir.
Just in a minute, if you could give us a brief of what happened, the first book, second, third, you're on the 4th, down but not knocked out.
Okay, the first book is talking about knocked down but not out. It's about my journey. It's about Bongani, how I grew up and where I'm at right now. Yeah. And then the second one is like a devotional book. It's for young people to read, to be inspired, to be encouraged. The third one is talking about the PAG movement, my organization. And the last one is a leadership one. It's called Becoming a CEO of Your Life.
Becoming a CEO of your life. Sounds much interesting. What's happening around there?
There, I'm talking about the same thing that we talk about, to develop yourself. You need to rise up. You need to take initiative. Don't wait for funding, but you need to start. Like even now as PAG movement, we impacted 1 million plus people in 60 days during this lockdown. Can I tell you, no funding, but you have to take initiative.
What happened? You are doing the PAG movement.
Yes, sir.
I think you're just going ahead of me a bit too forward there because I was coming to that one. I need to know a little bit on that one. But then on that note, we're just going to have to take a very quick short break. But hey, it is taking the initiative for our future. It is the Youth Month. People need to do. Don't just keep on talking. Do it. Don't only talk about it. It's okay to conceive the idea. If you do nothing about it, it's not real. So, quick short break. We'll be back just right after this.
Baba wethu osemazulwini, phendula imikhuleko yethu. Ubumnyama ubhokile emhlabeni. Silahlekelwe abangani bethu, abazali bethu, kanye nodadewethu. Kaze senzeni la? Siholele ekukhanyeni. Ugcine nalabo esebelahlekele. Ubabusise ngoba ngelinye ilanga sizohlangana ezulwini.
Good morning and a warm welcome to Galaxy News. My name is Mr Bongani Putsoane and this is Pan-African Morning. Of course, I'm not going alone. I'm going with my co-host, the one and only, the Pan-African woman, Balisa Matumayane. How are you, my darling?
I'm wonderful, Bahai Sudumelang. Yes, welcome to the Pan-African Morning right here on Galaxy Universal Network.
Galaxy Universal Network is a company owned by 5 directors. As I have said, the CEO is led by an able woman, and we are black-owned company. And as such, part of our mission, vision, sacrifice, and choices is to conquer the African continent. By that I mean from Zambia, Zimbabwe, Nigeria, Algeria, Kenya, Tanzania, from Cape to Cairo, my sister. However, part of our plan and our mission is to provoke the mindsets and the hearts of the African people by telling untold stories in an authentic way, in an unbiased way, in a way that has never been told before.
I think the most important thing in life is about growth. You know? From where you were, I always tell young people that we must compete with our yesterday. And I got to prison. I had said, okay, right now they have sentenced me to effective 7 years. So what next? What am I going to do with my time? And I remember telling one of my very good friends, close friend, Nathan Mariela, I said to him, you know, when I leave this place, I'm going straight to a man that sentenced me. He was taken aback. He couldn't understand why would you go back to a man. Of course, he thought with no temper, I wanted to harm this man. I said, it's because that man changed my life. So there's something that's called time. When I'm talking to young people, we must always redeem the time. I no longer live in times, but I live in moments because I understand what the freedom means. So because of the wrong decision that I've made one day, I was told in the most hopeless of places, which was a prison, I had to start building all over again.
The coronavirus outbreak.
Experience the extraordinary.
Tremendous waste and tremendous fraud. Mexico is, in fact, you will soon find out.
It is a day to celebrate.
We don't approve at all what's going on.
Well, I don't know if it's necessarily unusual.
Challenge your ordinary.
Not only the government, the municipality here has had no plan.
Experience the extraordinary with StarSat.
A very warm welcome once again. You're still here on Galaxy News. It is the exclusive with Petra. We're talking the subject of taking the initiative for our future as we are indeed celebrating the Youth Month in the country. Well, I just made an error, if I can put it that way. People in Tanzania, Namibia, Nigeria, North Africa, East Africa. I forgot to say hi, guys, but then apologies with all respect. Hello, Sanbonani. That's it. But then today, well, of course, as I said, I'm still with the Bongani Putsoane.
Yes,
My man, here we are. It's a Youth Month. Young people are talking about developing themselves, talking about the community must benefit and so forth. There are a lot of things. But then I want us to look at a little bit and to say that if you look at the present age, you have people who have, I'll put it this way, I normally say that they have allowed the past to punish them in the present, and it's paralyzing their progress. Now, here's the thing. How, as a person, do you run away or shy away to say from allowing the past to punish you, the wrongdoings of the past, to make you the slave of today, and yet thus making you failing to move forward?
Yeah, it's a very difficult one, because every single day we are surrounded by people who are reminding us about our past. That's why I always say,
not only people, I think even circumstances remind us of the past,
yes,
right?
Yes,
yeah.
Even sometimes ourselves, we do remind ourselves of our past. And it's a challenge. It's a mindset. Like I said earlier on, a vision. Your vision is going to push you out of your past. You know, even myself, sometimes I'll remind myself, I grew up in a community where I didn't have no food. I grew up in a community where I didn't have nothing. You know, I always, even now seated here, you know, my past is reminding me, Bongani, you shouldn't be even here. You know, you're not worthy to be here. But I have to push myself. So it's a daily battle where you're fighting with your body, where you're fighting with your mind, where you're fighting obstacles, telling yourself, no, I deserve better. I deserve the future. I deserve great things. I deserve amazing things. I don't deserve to be in the past.
So sometimes it counts to have those positive self-conversions to yourself,
Yes,
right?
yes.
But then, here we go, transition now. I've just been looking at the little bit of what the past is all about, what happened, 1976 and so forth. Then here we are a free nation. Liberation came, we enjoyed the fruits. Education came, free rights to vote. We got a lot of rights, they were granted to us as the citizens of the country. Young people also, they have their own rights. But then I want to look at something here that to say, in regards to education specifically, the role of education in the lives of young people. Why is education, or how is education important?
Yes, education, as our leader once said, that education is the key to success. So education is very important in each and every young person in our country, that you must be educated. When you are educated, you are powerful. You are able to conquer. You are able to do different things. You are able to think beyond your imaginations. So education plays a very important role. So I would encourage somebody, don't give up on school. Don't give up on studying, because when a man is, when you're full of knowledge and wisdom, you are able to juggle around situations. You are able to jump from block to block, because you are educated, you are open-minded. So that is why I say you must be an open-minded person in terms of learning. So education is key.
Yeah, then education came, given to us. Then we have the fees must fall movement. Remember the activists, the likes of people who went to prison for that, which I believe that looking at from 1976, if we still have these struggles, that means we are not yet free. Yeah. If I would put it that way, to say we are not yet free, why would we still go to an extent where when people fight for what is rightfully theirs, they still got to be in prison for that? That movement, how significant was it that it be done by those who did it, to say we need the free education? And it was announced by the government, by the way, which it was led by the former President Jacob Zuma, who announced that he was the man, that he was still in the office there. How significant was that announcement and that act by the students? Mr. Amin is the one who stood out, in fact, to say his students said, you know what, for this I can go to prison, it's okay.
Yes, he was fighting for the next generation.
Not him alone, the students also. Yeah.
Yes, he was fighting for the next generation. Even though those guys in the past, they sowed seeds so that we can sit under a shade today in this amazing tree. So they sacrificed everything so that we can have this education. And the sad thing, some of the guys, that even when we have this free education, they don't want to grab the opportunity. They don't want to maximize. And it feels as if the brother who sacrificed himself so that we can have the free education. It's like he wasted his time, you know. So I think us as the youth, we need to take initiative of all the sacrifices that our leaders and the people in our communities who have sacrificed their lives so that we can have what we have today. I think we need to go back and appreciate what we have.
Because I think they also, I would say, they left a legacy
too much
for us. Now, that legacy needs to be protected, and we need to make sure that what they dreamt of, we have to live in their dream, rather than disappointing them to say that whatever they did, it was in vain.
It was in vain.
Now, let's go once again, before I just go further. When you started to, earlier on, you mentioned that you have the movement, it is the PAC movement, that has impacted over 1 million lives. Well, you heard that very well. I think if the viewers at home, you heard that very well. 1 million lives, not just like as in 1,000. I'm talking about 1 million, guys. It's like 900,000 and above that. That's 1 million. Little bit on that movement.
Yes, PAC movement, basically, it's a movement to empower young people, is to remind them of their identity, purpose, and calling, and is to ensure them that they can do all things, you know, they can do all things. They just need to believe in themselves. So PAC movement, we started it in 2018, and during lockdown, I was like, sure, I'll be stuck at home. What must I do? So I started sharing PAC movement in WhatsApp groups, social media, videos are trending, to the point that we have PAC movement in Zambia, PAC movement in Malawi, we have a team in South Africa. So we are spreading the good news, we are spreading a hope, we are spreading positivity, and we are reminding the youth. During even this pandemic, we saw a lot of young people who wanted to commit suicide, who wanted to give up, who felt as if there's no hope. But PAC movement came at the right time when we said there's still hope in your life, there's still hope. You can go, your mess can be a message. Your test can be a testimony. Your scars can be a star. Whatever that you've been through, you can change for your good. So your circumstances will not define your future.
Sometimes this is what happens. You listen to these people who are gifted in mixing words and constructing statements that will really make you feel good about yourself for that moment when you're listening to the person. Now, we've been trapped whereby you have people who are able to listen to people who speak things that revive them. But now the biggest thing, the biggest problem is that after the person is out of your face, or after that audio is out of your ears, you get home and you default. How do you make sure that when you get something that is inspirational, something that is building you up, to build up from that?
So with PAC movement, we have identified a lot of loopholes in terms of that people, they listen to a motivation and they still go back to the past. There is a saying that talks about a dog, that a dog will vomit and still eat its own vomit. So same thing with PAC movement. We said we need to clear out those loopholes. So now we offer mentorship. So if somebody gets inspired by our clips, get inspired by whatever that we do, immediately we mentor that person, immediately we journey with that person, immediately we do feedback, follow up, we check on that person so that they don't fall back. As I said earlier on, Bongani is seated here today is because of different mentors that played a very important role in my life so that I can be here. So that's why even me to PAC movement, I have given that opportunity to young people where they can get mentored by me and other leaders around.
Well, just to hear here before we conclude, we're just about to come to an end of the show here. Just to look at this, we are in the Youth Month. There are people are stuck. It's pandemic. It is the lockdown. Just to every young people out there who is willing to go back to school, but situations don't allow it. Young person who's out there at home facing hardships, circumstances, not giving them a chance to even breathe. What can you say to those people?
What I can say to you today, you are watching a boy. In school, I failed so many times, but today I'm seated here with 10 distinctions because I had to wake up and tell myself I can do all things. And I just want to share, there's two words. There's two words that I want to share with you is that the word fear. The word fear has two meanings. The first meaning says forget everything and run. So many obstacles we're going to face, so many challenges we're going to face. So the word fear wants us to forget everything that we have inside of us, to forget the promises that the Lord has in store for us. But I want you to turn it around like Bongani. Face everything and rise. face those challenges, face those problems, and I'm telling you, you will rise and you will make a difference.
Right, Mr. Putsoane, thank you so much for your time here, right? That was Bongani Putsoane here on the exclusive with Petrol. Well, from me and the crew, as we're here giving you just the subject of taking the initiative for our future as the young people, as the month goes on, as we continue with celebrations and commemoration. It is a goodbye for now, but it is a goodbye.
Coronavirus outbreak.
Experience the extraordinary.
Tremendous waste and tremendous fraud. Mexico is, in fact, you will soon find out.
It is a day to celebrate.
We don't approve at all what's going on.
Well, I don't know if it's necessarily unusual.
Challenge your ordinary.
Not only the government, the municipality here has had no plan.
Experience the extraordinary with StarSat.